If you are just getting started with anything, don't make this mistake of building something overly complicated first. Start with solving a real problem instead. In this video, we will build customer booking system where every form submission is automatically saved into Airtable. Along the way, you will learn the core n8n concept you will use in the almost every workflow you build. But before we build it from scratch, let me show you the final result. Here is our completed workflow. It starts with a booking a form, process the submission through n8n, and then creates a new records into Airtable automatically. Let's submit a sample booking. I'll enter the customer details, select the service, choose the preferred date and time, and submit the form. As soon as the form is submitted, n8n receives the data, process it, and creates a new booking records into Airtable. And there is it. The booking has been saved automatically. No manual copying, no duplicate work, and no chance of forgetting to update your records. Before we begin, make sure you have an n8n installed and running. If you need help with the installation, don't worry. I'll cover that in a separate video. For now, let's focus on learning how to build the workflow. Let's start by creating a new workflow. I'll name it a customer booking so it is easy to identify later. Every workflow has additional settings under the three dot menu. You can edit description, duplicate workflow, download, rename, import and export. Before adding any notes, let's quickly get familiar with the workspace. You can drag the canvas to move around your workflow. Use your mouse wheel to zoom in and zoom out whenever you need a closer look. Don't worry about remembering everything. We will use this control naturally as we build. Now let's add the form trigger node. Search for form trigger and add it to the canvas. The default settings are fine for this tutorial. We don't need any authentication, so we skip this. Now let's add the form title. I'll name it customer booking system. You can also add the relevant description here. Now we have different form elements. Let me add one by one. So let's start with the full name. Now we have different element types. Let's set a text input for full name. It imports attributes like custom field and placeholder default value. So set this as required field. Now let's add email. So I select the email type to validate correct email. After that, set the required field as well. Now let's add phone number. I set phone number to number type, and also this is the required field. So add required field true. After that, let's add service. We'll use the drop down so user can choose from predefined services. We need to provide the multiple option to user. So type one by one. Next, set the booking date. So we set the booking date. Now element type is a date. Also this is the required field. So set required true. Next one is booking time. For time we also set the drop down. So I will set the predefined dates here. So let's add one by one option. I also set this required true. Next, set the node. On nodes, we set the text area because we need to freehand to user to add any nodes. I'm not setting this field to required. This is the option. So that's it. We set all the required fields. Now close this and execute our workflow. After that, it will trigger to ask one form, and you need to fill out in this form. After fill out this form, you can see response here. Now let's add the set node. The set node allows us to modify or add data before sending to Airtable. Open the node and you will see two modes, manual mapping and JSON. With JSON mode, you need to write and map everything manually. For this tutorial, we will use the manual mapping because it's easier to understand. So you can see the submitted data on the left side. Now let's start mapping the fields one by one. First, I'll create the booking ID. For the value, I'll use the simple format BK followed by a unique value. Next, I'll drag the full name field from the left panel and map it here. Repeat the same process for the remaining fields. Simply drag the data from the left side and drop it into the corresponding field. Now let's add the status field. This field isn't come from the form submission. So in additional information, we will create ourselves. I'll create the default status to pending. Let's also add the created date field. I'll use this current date in time using $now expression. This allows us to track exactly when the booking was created. Now execute the node. You can see all the submitted form data along with our additional field. This is the great place to modify, transfer and enrich the data before sending it to another system. Next, let's connect our workflow to Airtable. So search for the Airtable node and add it to workflow. Airtable supports different operations such as a create, update, delete, and search. For this tutorial, we want to create a new record whenever a booking is submitted. So I'll select the create record operation. Before we can connect to Airtable, we need to create a credential. This credential allows n8n to securely access our Airtable account. So click on create new credential. So one model open and you can see we need to fill the access token here. And if you need any help, then it will be also available open docs. So if you click on it, it will open on documentation where you can read all the prerequisites and other detail as well. So you can read it. If you don't already have an Airtable account, let's create one first. After signing in, you will see a Airtable workspace. Let's create a one workspace and click on build an app your own. You can also create with the Omni as well, but we'll select this. I'll name it a customer booking. Inside the base, I'll create the table 1 to bookings. So let's rename table 1 to bookings. This is the table name and save. Now let's create the columns we'll use to store our booking data. I've already prepared the list of fields and their data types. Create these columns one by one as shown on the screen. This saves our almost 1 minute. So booking ID, single line text. Full name, single line text. Email, you can set email type. For phone number, set number type. For service, you can select as of now single line text, but later on you can select the drop down as well. For booking date, select the date. For node, you can select the long text. For status, you can select the single line text after the created it as a date. Now let's generate a Airtable personal access token. Open your profile setting and go to the Builder Hub section. Then click on personal access tokens. Create a new token and give it a meaningful name. So I'll set the learn annotate. Next, select the customer booking base. This is our workspace. We also need to define the required permission. So enable record read and write permission. Then enable schema read permission as well. So finally, click on create token. So it will generate the token for us. So copy the generated token because we will use into inside n8n. Now back in n8n, paste the token into the credentials and save it. If everything is configured correctly, you will see the green check mark. So connection tested successfully. Now you can close the model. Now let's configure the Airtable node. Now you can select our connected Airtable credential. Now select the resource to drop down record or base. So you can select the record. Now click on create operation. And once you click on base, you can see customer booking. So it will paste the customer booking or workspace to here. Select the table, then select the booking table. n8n will automatically load all the available columns. The final step is mapping our data. Just like before, we will drag the value from the left side and drop them into matching Airtable columns. Take your time and make sure each field is mapped correctly. Now let's test the workflow. So click on execute step. You can see we got the error. So the error says field booking date cannot accept the provided value. Consider using typecast option. The error is related to the booking date field. Airtable expected different date formats. To fix it, we will convert this date into the ISO string format. So once that's done, let's execute the node again. Perfect. The record was created successfully. You can see. Now let's open the Airtable and verify the result. As you can see, a new booking record has been created successfully. All submitted data is now stored into the Airtable. At the moment, we are using the test URL. To make this form available publicly, we need to publish the workflow. So click on publish. Once the workflow is active, you will get the access to the production URL. Anyone with this URL can submit the form and trigger the workflow. Now copy the URL and paste into the another window. You can see your form. Let's test everything once a final time. I'll open the production form, fill the booking details and submit the form. The workflow runs in the background, then automatically saves the booking into Airtable. Let's verify it. Our new booking record has been added successfully. You can see both records are saved into Airtables. You can also customize the form appearance. For example, you can remove the n8n branding if you need. You can also customize the success message shown after the submission. Instead of the default response, I'll change it to booking submitted successfully. After publishing again, user will see the updated message. Finally, let's take a quick look at the execution tab. This is where you can monitor and debug your workflow. You can see which node executed successfully, inspect coming data, and troubleshoot error when something goes wrong. This becomes extremely useful as your workflow grow more complex. And that's it. We have successfully built a complete customer booking system using n8n and Airtable. Congratulations, you just built your first real automation with n8n. This is only beginning. In the upcoming video, we will connect the Gmail, Google Sheets, AI models, and many more services to build even more powerful workflows. So if you don't want to miss the tutorial, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.